You got a gun, got a big gun, got a gun, it's not a real one, and all you ever think about is running away, all you ever think about is trying to stay away from me.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Not Safe for Work MMA show on the LoudMouth MMA Podcast Network. This is another quarantine show. I am here. Fred is at his Casa de Papa Fred. Mr. Fred Kirby. Hello, Fred.
Mr. Kyle, Casa de Kirby. I like that.
Casa de Kirby.
Is that Spanish?
Well, Casa de would be, yeah, I guess the whole thing would be the House of Kirby. Yep.
I enjoy that.
I am, it is 3 o'clock. I have not taken a sip yet, but I am breaking a rule that I very, very, very rarely break, which is no bourbon before 5.
Interesting.
So
you're keeping that rule during a global...
I am. Even during a global pandemic, I've kept the rule of no bourbon before 5. And I haven't taken a drink yet, but Fred, I know you don't really drink, but cheers.
Yeah, here's to you.
Oh, it's good. It is
Listen,
good.
I had a sip of Monster. I shouldn't be drinking that shit either. It's probably worse for me than that fucking bourbon you're drinking.
All right. So I was scrolling around. Again, this is a Not Safe for Work MMA show. It is just that. It is not safe for work. So keep that in mind as you're listening. This is, I will reiterate, it is not safe for work. It is also not a reflection of anybody else that is on the network. We have some fantastic heavy hitters on the network, and the network keeps growing day by day. And this does not reflect anything that those people think and believe and say and all that kind of stuff. So please also keep that in mind. With that said, Fred, what the fuck are we going to talk about? Because I almost have no idea.
Yeah, I'm there with you, man. Look, and to be fair, it ain't just us. The whole fucking sporting world is shut down. What are you gonna do? There's zero to fucking talk about right now. I mean, we're gonna talk about some shit, you understand? Because there's always a little something. Look, we've got Habib doing his interview and issuing his statement about the whole fucking Tony situation and him being stuck in Russia. We got some prick trying to sue DW, who's already seems like he's off his fucking rocker these days. Jon Jones got his fucking verdict, so we can talk about that. All these very flimsy topics indeed, but what are you going to do? It's literally a fucking global quarantine, Jack.
Right. So I go to a website. I won't name the website, but I go to a website, MMA website, and there's an article that was released yesterday, April 4th. Today's April 5th, okay? An episode that was released, or a article that was released yesterday. And the title of that article is Lyman Good, scratched from UFC 249 with injury.
Ooh.
That came out yesterday.
Boy. And I thought we were scraping the barrel. At least we're going to be slightly funny this afternoon.
Lyman Good, scratched from UFC 249.
Man.
An event that there is, at this point, a 1% chance of happening. And we're still writing articles about people getting removed from that because of injury. What are we talking about? Like, it's crazy. The problem is, here's the issue. All right, let me explain, Fred. I think I got this. I think it's coming together in my head.
Okay.
When you have a subject matter expert, that's who you have to defer to when there are questions, okay? So
all right.
If I'm flipping a house and the guy flipping, the general contractor who's doing the work, if he says, I can have windows in 2.5 weeks, when that person tells me that, now I have experience. Usually it takes, say, 4 weeks to get to the point where we're replacing windows, right?
All right.
But he says 2.5 weeks. He's the subject matter expert. It's not my job to try to interpret what he is saying. He says 2.5 weeks. Just because my experience has been longer, that's not what he's telling me. And he's the one who's putting the fucking windows in. So I'm not going to be like, normally it takes 4 weeks. Why would I do that? That's not my job. That's not my lane.
Seems a little cunty to do that.
Well, that's not my lane. That's his thing. He's the one doing it, right?
Sure.
So when the subject matter expert says that they're going to do something in a specific timeline, then okay. I then can deal with that. If we get to 2.5 weeks and it's not done yet, I get to have this similar conversation, which is, hey, man, you're the subject matter expert. You told me we could do something. You didn't do it. Now it's going to take another 1.5 weeks, which is what I was thinking anyway. So next time, I need you to be more precise with your timelines because, again, you're the subject matter expert. I'm going to defer all of this stuff to you.
All right.
With all of that said, that's what we're dealing with. Dana White will not come out and say 249 is not happening. And until he comes out and says it, we have to assume that they're just going to make this happen. By hook or by crook, they're going to make this thing happen. Everybody's talking about it. We got articles written out. Woodley's tweeting about being on 249. A whole slew of fighters are calling each other out, trying to get fights made, which I think is goofy. But at the same time, the head honcho is saying they're going to make it happen. The guy's friends with Trump. Like, if anybody can make something happen, it's him, right? So it's like, it's weird. I'm not saying I think it's going to happen, but until he comes out and says it ain't happening, I guess we're going to keep hearing about it, you know?
Let me tell you something. How old's your oldest kid?
She is 5.
She's 5. Okay. Has she started school yet? Is she in kindergarten this year?
This year.
This year. Okay. Kindergarten operates a little differently than all the other grades, but have they canceled school for the year for her yet?
Oh, yeah.
For the year?
Well, because it's until May. So,
okay, but not for the year has not been canceled yet, just till May, right?
Yeah, so she would be starting in August, so which is the next school year.
Okay. Well, okay, never mind. Fuck it. Your kid's too young. My kids are older. They have not called off the school year yet for this year. As of now, my kids are tentatively going back to school May 1st. Now, I think you, me, and everybody with a slightly functional brain knows that the rest of this school year is curtains. Ain't nobody going back to school nowhere in America on May 1st, for fucking sure. I say that to say, I don't know why some of these people are just not going. I swear, I think they just think we can't handle it. And maybe that extends to Dana White. Maybe he just thinks that being like, look, check this out, y'all. Here's the sad fact. Not only is 248 not happening, 249 ain't happening, 250, 251, 252. It might be UFC 237 by the time we get, like, I think maybe, I don't think he's fucking stupid.
He meant
I don't
57, everybody, by the way. He meant 237's already happened.
Oh, yeah, whatever.
A while ago.
Whatever the fuck. No, did I say 47?
You said 37.
Okay, whatever. The point is, fucking, I think that they're trying to not make it as bad as it actually is, just trying to soften the blow. I don't think Dana White's fucking stupid, but he has to know these events are not happening. Nothing's fucking happening, man. Like, let me tell you something. If Vegas ain't open yet, that fucking Annex Center ain't doing fuck all.
Yeah.
I for a minute there, well, you know, fuck, at this point, it's been like a fucking month of Sundays. But for a small moment, I was in the group of people that thought, oh, well, shit, Jack, the UFC's got their own fucking training center. They'll just bring the guys out. They'll fight in the Annex Center just like they do on Tough, the reality show. It'll be no big deal. But it quickly became apparent that's not going to happen. There are no international flights. There are no gyms open. I mean, bro, the jig is up. Ain't nobody fighting nowhere for a long time. Tyson Fury ain't boxing Deontay Wilder. Ain't fucking nothing like that going to be happening for quite a while. I don't know why he's just not giving up the ghost yet. You're right. That is very interesting that he won't just fucking say it.
This will be a question that comes up on Last One Standing this week, which we're going to be recording tomorrow and airing tomorrow as well. But do you have an opinion on when you think the first UFC card will take place?
Ooh, good fucking question. The truth is, at this point, it's anybody's guess. I don't think that anybody really has a clue at this fucking point.
So
but
will there be a card in April?
Oh no.
Will there be a card in May?
No.
Will there be a card in June?
I do not think so. Fucking hopeful.
But that's when that's when the question marks start coming up.
Yes. And for me, June at best.
Okay, July.
I'll put it to you like this. It gets better and better. I think July, I'd say,
what's
is
most
probably
likely?
50-50, I think, by July. I would say, like, at this point, 4th of July, you know how Trump was talking all that bullshit about us getting everything up and running for Easter?
Yeah.
You can shit can that.
Right, yeah.
You can straight shit can. But I think the 4th of July is a lot better, and I know this is not nothing that nobody wants to hear. I know reality that we got like 3 more months of this shit. But it's just the truth. What am I? I'm a fucking Joe Jerkoff. But I think the 4th of July is a lot more feasible date for us to contemplate really having this thing together. Look, might they be able to pull off some bullshit in June? Like one of those shows where nobody's there or something? Yeah, maybe in June, maybe. But piss on that. When are we going to get back to the way things fucking were? Like where there was actually an arena full of fucking fans and that fucking energy was electricity in the air. In July, August, September, something.
So you would say it gets better as you're going along. July is 50-50, and you think August is just slightly better than 50-50?
Yeah.
To me, like, there's just no way that August 1st can't have a card. In my mind, we got to at least be past all this shit by then. I think we'll start – here's what I think. I think we'll start seeing cards – in end of May, mid to end of May or June. And I think we'll see cards, but I think it's going to be, there's a very real possibility that no sporting event has people just for the rest of the year. There's so much liability. This virus is not going to have a vaccine for quite some time. Even if we, quote, flatten out the curve, it's not going to go away. It's still going to spread. It's just not going to be as rampant because there's not going to be as many cases for it to spread. I mean, It could get that way again, but I don't think that it will. So I think we're going to open everything. I think we're going to open back up shop come early to mid-May with the United States in general. I think it's going to be kind of business as usual with some restriction and with businesses where they already have in place where only X amount of people can be in stores. There's 6-foot rules and there's like tables and shit that's blocking you from getting close to the desk, and everywhere has hand sanitizer at the front door. And I think you're going to see that kind of stuff for the rest of the year. I don't think that stuff may never go away. This is what's interesting. This is not a topic for this podcast necessarily, but this is something I was thinking about. It's like, so I saw Subway released a statement because they're all still open, and they were saying, we're now cleaning once an hour. We're spraying sanitizer on this and that. We're switching out the pans. We're doing this, whatever it is. And I'm reading this going, okay, that's really cool. They're doing that. Why not do that forever? Why just do that now? Make that the norm. It probably should have been the norm to begin with. COVID-19 is a very dangerous flu, okay? That's what it is. It's a flu that affects you more than the normal flu. Certainly, if you're elderly, it affects you a lot more, significantly more than the normal flu. It's also, because it's a coronavirus, it's hyper intensive on your respiratory system, which sucks because your fucking respiratory system is super important to life. You need to breathe, So this flu sucks. But the flu fucking sucks in general. And every single year, there is a flu outbreak. period, no question, we know next year there's going to be a flu outbreak. It's every fucking year like clockwork. The flu spreads. So why not all these businesses, McDonald's, when you go through the drive-thru, they have those big pieces of plastic up. And it actually looks pretty good. But those big pieces of plastic up, and then they have the credit card machine that's kind of sitting on the ledge, and you put your fucking credit card in, and then nobody touches anything. Why not do that for the remainder of time? Why ever change back from that? Because think about it this way. How much money could the hospital system save if the normal flu outbreak that happens was cut in fucking half? We're talking trillions of dollars that's going to be able to stay within the medical system.
Yeah.
So
I
it's
mean,
like, why not do this for fucking ever? You know, I'm done. Now, sporting events, you got to have people there in person. But for the remainder of the year, why? Just don't fuck with it. Don't have people in the audience until we can get it. The TV, everyone's watching television. You can renegotiate your deals with TV and say, hey, like, you guys are getting all the shit. We can't make any money from this. We might have to break from this and go somewhere else, you know, so we could try to get some more money. So get some more money for airing it on TV and don't have people there in person.
not the worst idea in the world. I mean, it'll have to be something like that. And, you know, listen, as far as motherfuckers washing their hands and being fucking sanitary, yeah, I mean, you know, what's the problem? Us being disgusting, lazy humans that aren't going to want to go through all that hassle just the moment that we don't absolutely have to. But, like, yeah, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to fucking... You ever seen a Subway operate, Jack? Yeah, it ain't going to hurt them to fucking wipe down those cucumber trays a few more times a day.
I mean, I just wonder places like Chipotle and McDonald's and, again, all the stuff that these stores have put into place, you know, where you're standing on the X's and all that kind of, why not make that forever? Why? There's no reason not to. Listen,
yeah, you know, I don't know. You're getting a little Howie Mandel on me here. I mean, to be fair, I get it, but on the same token, now when I go out, there's fucking X's on the ground. You don't want nobody close to you. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to fucking hug and, you know, shake every stranger's hand, but and to be fair, listen, if we're gonna have an honest conversation about this, is that not the dumbest fucking thing in the world? I mean, put your fucking X's on the ground. Tell us to stay fine. What if the fucking broad with the Ronies is coughing all over the beefaronies in aisle 3? And then she walks away and I come in behind her. I get it. I pick it up.
But there's other precautions you should be taking. The other day, for the first time in the history of ever, I wore fucking gloves and went to the store.
Yeah, but then, you know what? I hate this. I hate this life now. We live in the post-apocalyptic Donald Trump fake news era. I don't know what's true or what's not. I've seen 13 articles about how gloves keep them on your hands and you're better off just washing your hands a lot. I've seen articles about masks that they catch it as opposed, and then when you go to take the mask off, you get it on your hand. I'm just fucking winging it. I pop fucking vitamin C and zinc pills like they're going out of style.
Well, none of those. So the problem with people wearing gloves is that they're touching shit and then they're still touching their face with their gloves on, or they're grabbing their phone with their gloves on. If you're wearing gloves, you don't touch anything other than the shit. Once you're done, you take your gloves off, and your hands don't have anything that was there. Just use hand sanitizer real quick, just in case, and then start touching your phone and whatever else, your ID card or whatever it is you need. But you don't do that with your gloves on, because then you're just spreading the thing around. People are just dumb. So, like, they're wearing medical masks, but they have a big beard. So there's a whole bunch of spaces there. Or they're wearing a medical mask, but they have it below their nose. Or they have a medical mask, and they remove it from their face to smell something. Or they remove it from their face to scratch their nose. It's like, dude, you're not helping the situation. So if you do it properly, which is super easy to do, if you're wearing a mask, don't touch your fucking face. If you're wearing gloves, don't touch other shit, like your clothes or your face or your phone or your ID card or whatever. Until you remove the gloves. It's really not complicated. But yeah, if done improperly, yeah, it's worse.
I tell you what, I've said this a bunch of times before, and I'll say it again. You motherfuckers better be glad Daddy Fred ain't the king of this motherfucker. Because if I was, I'd enforce martial law so quick on you fucking cute son of a bitches. Y'all can hate it all you want. I want tanks parked in front of every house. I said, get in the fucking house. Make sure those pricks got some rice and some beans, running water, and, what's your drug of choice? Give them a little bit of that. Get in the fucking house and stand there. You come outside, we'll hit you with rubber bullets.
Right. Listen, I just want this shit to be over. And in order to get to the point where it's over, everyone's got to stay the fuck inside, and that's it. It is truly that simple. In order to be done with this, people have to just stay the fuck inside.
And I don't want to turn this into the fucking COVID podcast, but what the fuck? It's kind of hard not to touch on this shit.
There's literally nothing else to talk about. So.
Yeah. Well, but and I'm not saying that there is any. I'm not buying into any of these sort of conspiracy theories or any of this goofy shit like this. But I will say, governments worldwide need to take any sort of restrictions off of the spending for fucking scientists and doctors and anything related to this right now. If those fuckers need money to fucking work on a new vaccine or whatever the fuck, give it to them. I don't give a shit if you got to take it from the fucking war planes or the war machines or our fucking 80 billion trillion fucking war budget. Shave a few fucking trillion off that. Give it to these smart ass scientists. And I keep hearing people saying, it'll take another year for a vaccine at least. Throw another $1 trillion at it. Let's see how fast. What do we need? We need more mice. We need more people. We need more testers. We need whatever the fuck you guys need more. Let me tell you something. I don't think that fucking aliens helped those pricks invent those fucking pyramids. I think they had fucking slaves, millions of them, and they worked them for fucking lifetimes, multiple ones. I think if you get enough fucking monkeys in a room, they'll fucking type a fucking symphony. Imagine what enough humans can do. If you gave them enough money, enough time, I think we could probably have some treatment for this bad boy in 3 to 6 months. If the world, if you had all the smartest from China, India, Iran, America, and you were making these pricks work together and giving them every financial resource, damn that year-long bullshit. Cut that shit in half. I don't give a fuck what it takes.
I like it. I wanted to call your attention to an article real quick. This is on the Body Lock. This appears to be an original, so I want to give credit. Michael Fidel with the Body Lock. The title of the article is Joe Rogan. This is a quote from him. Doctor told UFC Yoel Romero is the most unusual human being they've ever seen. Agree or disagree?
Listen, I don't know. I don't know if I'd fucking say that. I mean, listen, the guy's built like a brick shit house.
He's
we all
43.
know about.
Remember that? He's 43.
Yeah, but I don't know. Listen, have I witnessed more? But look, he is in mixed martial arts. I would imagine there's been an NBA player that I can't think. I'm not the massive sports fan I used to be, but there has to have been a more impressive specimen than Yoel Romero. All due respect to Yoel. I mean, football, basketball, fucking, goddamn baseball. There's some.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. There's more. Hold on. There's more to this. No. I've never seen a human being like this, Rogan says, the doctor revealed. This is the most unusual human being I've seen in my 40 years of practicing medicine. Rogan said the doctor said Romero's tendons in his eyes, because he broke an orbital bone, so that's why he was going to the doctor. The tendons in his eyes were 4 times larger than a normal person's. His physical structure is different than any human being he's seen in his life.
Okay, I get it. The steroids.
There it is.
He was fucking getting pumped full of steroids when he was a 9-year-old Cuban boy. They were fucking prepping him for the Olympic team. What the fuck are we talking about? Listen, let me tell you something. Even if his fucking eyelids are 6 times as long as another human's, he still got his ass whooped twice by Bobby Knuckles and once by Stylebender. I know it doesn't help him too terribly much.
I love that you misconstrued that as his eyelids being too long.
Whatever. What did you say? His fucking eye tendon or whatever. What that doctor said.
It doesn't.
It's a slow news week now, boy.
It doesn't matter what I said because that was fabulous. I just like this idea of what an incredible specimen. His eyelids are 4 times larger than the average eyelid.
Yeah, what's he doing? Tricks with his tendons in his eyes? Get the fuck out of here. Didn't help him see that fucking right hook coming that caved his fucking eye socket in, did it?
Okay. This is literally, I don't know how we're going to go on much longer, to be honest with you. I enjoyed our COVID talk specifically. Is there anything else? I mean, I guess there was some updated Jon Jones news.
Yeah, well, what did he get? He got a month of fucking house arrest and some community service.
Listen. Is there a more Jon Jones punishment than getting house arrest when everyone's in quarantine?
Let me ask you this, though. Just delving a bit deeper into the Jon Jones thing, since we don't got much else to shoot the shit about. How worried are you for Jon? Like, all hyperbole aside, I made a bunch of jokes last time. What do you think this is? Is this just Jon being Jon? Because I'll tell you what, I'll go first. I'll ask the question, I'll answer my own question, and then I'll throw it to you. I think this is just Jon being Jon. He was out drinking and driving. He's probably extremely bored, like we all are. He did something stupid. This is what he does. He's smoking weed. He's drinking. I don't doubt that he was out there talking to homeless people. When you're fucking whacked out of your mind, anything's kind of fun. I don't think this is a sign of anything different to come. I just think this proves what we all knew, that this is Jon Jones. Once the world gets spinning back on its axis, it's 50-50 on whether he, gets caught in a strip club with a couple whores. This was par for the course. The gun being there and being shot was a little wild, but again, it is New Mexico. Those fuckers are wild out there with their gun rights. You see Jon on Instagram, he's fucking shooting the rifle and the whole thing. So I'm sure they have a carry conceal law out there. I'm sure he has his carry, you're not supposed to have it while you're drunk. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I see other people making it seem like that. Hell, they were talking about stripping his belt, which I thought was just about the stupidest thing I'd ever heard of. But do you think that this is going to be the beginning of the end? Do you think this is spelling doom for Jon Jones, or this just Jon being Jon?
I think people are a lot more worried about Jon Jones getting a DUI than their own fucking uncle doing the same thing. And they actually know their uncle, and they don't know this guy. It's weird. It's people are turning this in. You already know my opinion on people getting DUIs. I fucking hate it. It's my biggest pet peeve in the legal system. I think DUIs should be treated similar to burglary and weapons charges. I think that it should be a really, really stiff punishment. Go ahead.
Okay, well, hold on. Yeah, because as the more you're talking, I'm actually coming into something that we might have stumbled across an interesting conversation here. Let me elaborate more on it.
Go ahead.
What do you think this very unique, interesting thing we're all going through right now? Twofold question, I guess. A, starting with Jon Jones, how do you think this will affect him coming back to this, like after going through this? And then B, I suppose, what fighters do you think will suffer the most from this? Like what fighter, like Thug Rose has been known to go through some mental issues.
Yeah,
Tony Ferguson. How do you think those fighters that kind of have some mental shortcomings are going to deal with this whole thing afterwards?
This is actually a question that I was going to ask this week on Last One Standing. So I was going to ask it a little differently. But yeah, this is a question I was actually already kind of thinking of. Who does this affect the most? Certainly not Jon. I think this has absolutely no effect on him. I don't think this is the beginning of an end. I don't think this is the beginning of the beginning. I don't think this is anything. I think this is just, he got a fucking DUI. He got a slap on the wrist. He's going to go back and fight and be the best fighter in the world. It's just like, I don't think anything of it.
What did we expect him to do during this pandemic? Like, that's exactly what I expected him to do. Get drunk driving with a pistol on him, probably out looking for some trim.
Yeah, I just don't think that. Not only do I not think that it's going to affect him, if it wasn't for the fact that I have such a staunch opinion on DWIs and DUIs, because like I said, it's probably one of the very few things that I'm really this like all in on. I just like, there's no fucking excuse for it. If you do it, like, you need to be punished to the fullest extent. And DWI and DUI laws just aren't all that strict. First time you get a DWI, mandatory year in county jail and no license for fucking 3 years. I just like, I'm serious. Like, it needs to be punished really, really heavy, and that's how you're going to stop it. Because it is in other countries. Germany has some laxed alcohol laws, but from what I gather, they punish DUI and DWI very, very harshly, and that's what prevents it from getting out of hand.
Makes sense.
So no, I don't think. But all that aside, people are they're going too far with it. You know, again, they're way more worried about the well-being of Jon Jones and his DUI than they are about their uncle that got a DUI last week. You know, like he's just focused on your own shit, man. Like do your own thing. Don't worry about Jon Jones. What fighter do I think is taking it the hardest? I don't have a specific answer for you, but for me, I don't think it's the people who are. I see where you're going with it. The Tony Fergusons, the Jon Jones, the Thug Roses, the people who struggle with the mental aspect of the game, and just in general, you know, especially like a guy like Tony. Right. You know, we had a very public issue there where he was kind of losing his mind.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So I respect the effect it might have on them. For me, it's the prospects. Like, I think that's who are going to be taking this the hardest. You know, the ones who were building up and now their local fights are getting canceled and they can't train at the gym anymore. They can't get that extra push they need. And, like, someone like Jon Jones, or Jon Jones is a weird example given the other thing. Let's take, like, Peter Yan. Okay, Peter Yan. This isn't going to affect him. You know, he's already in the UFC. He's already at the top. He's fine. He has a supporting cast around him. Even now, like, he's good, right? But now take, like, the up-and-comers of the world. They don't.
Sugar Sean.
Well, no, not even in the UFC yet. I'm talking about the guys that are trying to make it to the UFC. Like, their shows are getting canceled. They don't have the money already. Like, they don't belong to big gyms, so they don't even have that. They don't have the big, wide support. Like, those are the guys that for every month this is going on, it sets them back 3. You know, it's like if this goes on for 4 months, that kind of sets them back like a year. And in the life of a prospect, a year is a huge deal because that could be the difference between in your prime and out of your prime. Like, that could be the difference between having an ACL tear and not having an ACL tear. Like, a year's a big deal if that's what it's setting you back. So I don't have a specific answer, but, like, the prospects, like, in general, like, those are the ones I feel like are affected the most.
Okay. Well, sitting here listening to you talk, I thought about it, and not only do I have a specific name, but I'm actually going to go on the complete opposite end of the spectrum from what you just said and did. I tell you who I feel the worst for, because I tell you what, man, I do not share your optimism of there being a show in May. I think there is little to zero chance that we have a show in April or May. I think June or July is iffy. It very well might be August or September before we're seeing competitions again, because a lot of guys are international. So you got to think, when are we going to have international flights? Like, that's one for starters. Like, DW sure as shit can't run this whole fucking operation from Saudi Arabia. He might be able to pull one little fight, you know, here or there, but he's going to need America to be open and be allowing flights from other countries. And I just don't see that fucking happening for a while. So I think, you know who I feel the worst for coming out of all this is Daniel Cormier. We might not never see him fight again. He might, you know, he's getting long in the fucking tooth, man. I think that this summer was probably all she wrote. If this thing doesn't get back rolling till, God forbid, September, October, DC might just say piss on it. And I mean, he's the most high caliber one, but I mean, you know, Diego Sanchez might bite the dust. A few of these guys that are just kind of hanging on by a thread that probably only have one more in them. If this fucking thing goes on for 3 to 4 to 5 months, like you said, nobody's training right now. You almost need this thing to go away before guys can and girls can even really get back to training properly. So, you know, this could end some careers, man.
Sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, no, that's a very valid point. You know, the older fighters of the world, you know, the guys who are kind of getting to the tail end there. Because, again, same thing, you know, they're not able to train in the way that they were used to before, or train in the way they're accustomed to. And honestly, they may not have that drive that they used to have, where if you're not in the gym, you're not around people that are pushing you, you're not pushing yourself as hard. So a lot of those people can really take a giant step back here.
And dude, I really don't think. I mean, we still have a few fuckers walking around acting like this shit's barely real. Look, we might have a few fighters that rethink their whole fucking philosophy on life after this. There might be people that are just like, hey, I want to spend more time with my kids. This made me see the light. Motherfuckers are going to start believing in God. I mean, this is a big fucking deal. We're living a Stephen King novel right now, man. Like, this is not something that, whether we get back to business in May, June, July, whenever the fuck we do get back to business, it's going to be fucking weird. And it's going to have some very strange, long-lasting effects on a lot of people. And fighters are interesting characters. You know what I mean? Like, they're rebels of society to some degree. The way they live and the way they make their money and earn their money, they train. Like, this could have some guy, like Sugar Sean O'Malley, very bright prospect. And I'm obviously not wishing this happened at all, but he's one of those kind of weirdo, smart, eccentric guys who might be somewhere taking ayahuasca during this time right now. And afterwards, he might be like, fuck that. I don't want to hit humans no more. I'm done with it. I'm going to save the wildebeest in Western Africa. I mean, I say that as a joke, but only partly. There might be some people that come out of this with a completely fucking different perspective on life. And it does take a very, alpha fucking sort of male or female rather to beat the shit out of somebody. Like, we've seen it with Rory McDonald, where like you feel like if somebody loses that killer edge a little bit, they're not as good as they once were. This is a very strange thing we're going through. I can see some fighters coming back and just kind of missing a little bit of that, not quite having that killer edge they once had. Like, this could fucking change some people, man.
Yeah. Okay. We covered Jon Jones. We covered COVID. We keep covering COVID. I agree with you, by the way, just to wrap that up. You might see some people who go a direction that you never dreamed, that are just like, they take this to heart, and they change around their philosophies and they say, fuck it, I'm going to go be an accountant. I'm not trying to get punched in the head anymore. I'm not trying to lose time with the people I love. I'd rather go be an accountant and get off some of this muscle, that's probably making my heart work a little hard, and get off all these fucking supplements that are, stressing me out and stressing my body out. And I want to just go be an accountant and just work out like normal and be a normal person. And you know what I mean? Not have to be spitting promos and keeping up with the Twitter and whatever else. So, you may very well see that's a very good point, and one that I haven't really thought of yet or kind of had that conversation, but it makes sense.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how, especially if it goes on a little longer. If this goes on until September, October, like late this year, if we basically miss the summer, it's going to do some strange things to people, man. And I'm hoping that I have an optimistic side of me. You use the accountant. I tend to think the what's the fucking word with an F that I can't say? The
philanthropist.
There's the word. Boy, you probably eat a mean pussy. Yeah, that word. I hope that more people do that sort of thing. They see how important all this is and how we need each other to fucking survive. And, this is something big that put the fucking entire species under attack. Like, it's some wild shit, man. We're living in very unparalleled times. So to think that it wouldn't have a profound impact on combat sports would be goofy too. It's going to have a profound impact on every fucking thing, including MMA and the UFC.
There's one more discussion topic. This is something that came out recent. I don't know when this discussion happened. I don't know when this happened. Title of the article: Cody Garbrandt plans on moving down in weight to, quote, really save the flyweight division. End quote. Cody Garbrandt, I think, could definitely make 125. He's a pretty small dude. Even at 135, he seems to be a little smaller than the average bear. He says he walks around at 145, so it really shouldn't be all that hard to get him down to 125. How do you feel about that?
Well,
do you think he'll do it? Do you think he'll fight at 25?
Well, and I didn't read the article, but didn't his fucking kidneys just give out on him or something? Didn't he just have a problem with his kidneys that took him out of this most recent fight before the fucking COVID virus hit us?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure he got pulled from the Columbus card before the Columbus card, before the whole sport bit the dust anyway.
I know he got pulled, but I don't know why he got pulled. Yeah, kidney issues.
That's what I thought. I didn't read the article. I just browsed past it. I thought, so, listen, I don't know. Might not be the smartest thing in the world. You might want to talk to DC about your kidneys fucking shutting down.
A month ago, I had cellulitis in my shin. I went to the hospital and got cleared with antibiotics. I got back into training. But then last Friday, the lymph nodes in my groin were inflamed, and I didn't feel well. I thought it was just due to rough training. On Saturday, I had flu-like symptoms. The lymph nodes were so inflamed I couldn't walk. I took an Uber to the hospital and did a bunch of tests on my blood, kidneys, CAT scan. The doctor sent me home. 20 minutes later, I felt even worse and started pissing blood.
Oh, God.
So, but I don't think that was any relation to a weight cut. It sounds like he had a kind of a separate medical issue. But still, it's like,
yeah.
What do you think cutting to 125 is going to fucking do, man? I mean, that's going to destroy you.
Yeah, look, nonetheless, take the kidneys out of the equation. No. What? Go down there and fight fucking Figueiredo? Or no? What are you talking about? Fucking just keep your ass at 35, where there's actually exciting fights. Ain't nothing that flyweights hanging them on by a prayer, anyways. Why the fuck we want to see you down? I mean, look. At the end of the day, here's the quick ballpark questions: Are there more exciting and better fights for him at 125? No. Are there more exciting and better matchups at 35? Yes. Very simple. Like, no, I don't want to see you go. I don't want to see nobody go to flyweight from 35. To be completely fair, certainly not fucking Cody, a top contender.
Yeah, nope. I think I agree. I'm okay with him doing it as long as it's healthy and he can. I did not realize that is why. That is why he had gotten pulled. I did not realize it was kidneys. He said he walks around at 145. At the end of sparring sessions, he's down to 142. So, again, he doesn't walk around very heavy. So, again, it's realistic he could get to 125. I think if he could, it would be intriguing to see him fight a Benavidez or a Figueiredo, something along those lines, just to see. If he goes in there and knocks him out, that's at least entertaining. I would consider him to be, if he went down there and beat the best of the best, I would legitimately consider him to be a champion, just because of his past and that kind of stuff. So, I don't know. I'm definitely not opposed to it. I can see the value in doing it, but it can't be at the expense of your health. So,
yeah. I don't. Again, there's just not like a slew of fucking top exciting contenders and fights at 25 for him. So, why the fuck would you do that? Keep your ass at 35. There's literally two guys that just fought for the belt that might be interesting fights for Cody at fucking flyweight. But other than that, what are you talking about?
Yeah. All right. So, I think that's all we got. If you're wondering, by the way, today is April 5th, and it is the anniversary of Conor McGregor throwing the dolly through the bus window.
Hey, now.
That was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
April 5th, 2018, UFC 223. There we go.
Listen, I as a Conor fan, I make no apologies. Cute cocksucker shot his mouth off. He tried to fucking throw Artem a beating in the goddamn hotel room. Conor had to do something for his buddy, for Christ's sakes.
Oh, gosh. Anything else you want to add before we go?
No, we scraped the barrel, son. Imagine, hopefully fucking Jon Jones sneaks off a house arrest and something entertaining happens in the next week. We can fucking, a fight breaks out at a local Walmart or something we can cover possibly.
Yeah, we need something. I don't. Yeah, it's all shut down, so I don't know what we can get.
We'll get something though.
Before we got on the podcast, you said one of my favorite quotes, and you didn't use it.
I've even forgotten already.
It was something about They don't even have cockfights in Bangladesh or something. I don't know what it was,
Yeah. We're talking about fights. They don't even have fucking cockfights in Bangladesh right now. There's no sort of fighting going on anywhere. But yet we still got DW out here chirping about fucking UFC 249. Boy, if you don't shut up and go save these fighters, or write them a check and sit down in your mansion somewhere.
Oh, all right, man. I will see you next week.
There it is, son. We'll be back.
All right. Bye.
All right.